Hello everyone, welcome to this masterclass on Google AdMob. We put together a team from product, from support, from optimization, and we're looking at the hot topics on how you can go to the next level with your AdMob account. The most common questions that we get and the best practices we would like to share with you today. This is Miguel Mayer. I'm a mobile monetization specialist, and I'm here today with Adam.
Hi guys.
Mobile product specialist, and he's going to start sharing with you. We put together some slides about the best practices and really hopefully just to help you out in this few minutes, making your life easier with your journey with AdMob. Adam, give it a go.
Brilliant. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. As Miguel mentioned, I'm the product specialist for AdMob based out of EMEA. And I just want to get started with kind of how to implement all of our ad formats successfully on AdMob and just touch on some of the more basic points before we get Daniele in, who's going to really talk about now you're actually monetizing the AdMob, how to do it even more successfully and optimally. So Miguel's just going to share some slides that I put together. So let's get started. So basically with AdMob, we're able to provide you with a solution that really enables you as a developer to monetize your application's platform irrelevant. So we have solutions for both Android, iOS, and Windows Phone 8 with our mobile advertising solution. So as you already started with AdMob, I just want us to take a step back now and let's have a small discussion about what AdMob is and why it can help you really be successful. So as a developer, you'll know already that all you need to do to begin monetizing your apps is to sign up to AdMob, download the SDK for your particular platform, and use the developer guides in order to implement the ad format of your choice. But what I wanted to touch on briefly was something that I think is really important that we've got released from Android recently, and that's the new Android SDK. If you're an Android developer, it's really key that you make use of this SDK, as it enables you to make the most out of some features which we're providing you as Google. So with the new Google Play Services SDK, you're going to make use of Google's technology that will really unlock a few things. So for example, one great feature that we've got is automatic updates. If we make a push to the SDK, which is going to make an improvement, perhaps it fixes a bug or it makes a new feature advancement, then you don't need to push that update to your users, we'll push it to them. So that means that now you can be using the latest features from AdMob without needing the users to update your app. And this is a really, really great new feature that our developers have been calling for. We're really proud to bring this to you with the Google Services SDK. So getting started, let's take a step back even further and let's think about something. Making money through AdMob is all about understanding your users and what they actually want from your content. So before you implement AdMob and you think about new ways of perhaps monetizing your app, you really should be able to understand your users and really decide what it is that they want out of your content and how they're using your content. So I'll be touching on this in another session later on about Google Analytics, but it's really important to analyze your data. So first of all, where are people actually using your app? Which screens are the most popular to them? Which ones are they using on a daily basis? Which ones are they using on a weekly basis? Once you've got that nailed down, where are people moving around in your app? What are the frequent transition areas that they're using? This can be used for new opportunities. And as always, as we say in Google, be creative, be unique, and give the users something beautiful. So let's get a bit more into the technical implementation. The first thing that you're probably going to implement as an AdMob monetizer are banner ads. So these can either be text or display banners. However, as a developer, the implementation is exactly the same for each type. So all you're going to want to do is log into your AdMob account and create a new banner in your ad units. You can do that simply, choose the refresh rate, name your banner, and you're done. Once that's done, it's down to the coding. So in your code, it obviously depends on which platform you're using, and I'm not going to go into specifics because the coding does vary, but you're going to want to declare a banner instance. Once you've done that, you'll assign your new ad unit ID to that banner, and then you'll make the request to our ad servers. Upon receiving our request, the ad server will look at a number of things, such as the device type, the language, the location. It might have your package ID or some additional information about the user, and will then return the most adequate ad for you at that time. Secondly, something which you might want to look into is interstitial ads. Now these are the ads which take over the full screen, and Daniele will talk about more about these in the later section. But again, these can show as display banners or text banners. The implementation is exactly the same again as it would have been for the banners. So let's log into your AdMob account, and this time select interstitial, choose your interstitial timeout. So this just decides how long we'll wait for the server to respond with an ad before we give up and move on. This is just to stop the users having an adverse effect. Name the ad and hit save. So when it comes down to implementation, again, it will vary for each platform based on the programming language. But in each case, we're going to declare an interstitial and again, specify your ad unit. So basically, we're creating an interstitial in your app, letting the app know your ad unit ID from the account, so we know exactly which settings to pull through. Then we can make the request and load the ad in, and then when we're ready to, we can display that interstitial ad. Finally, smart banners. Now these are a great way to really adapt to the fragmented screen widths of different devices. So what they'll do, and you'll see from the display banner or the text banner, they'll really just fit in with the width of the current device at that time. So if it's a display banner, we'll add some padding either side and center the image ad. Or if it's text ad, we'll just stretch it out and show more textual content. So this time, it looks the same. So go in and create a banner ad in your account, choose the refresh rate and name it, hit save. And the great thing is the implementation is almost exactly the same. This time, instead of creating a standard banner, we just define the banner size slightly differently. So for example, in Android, it's called Smart Banner. Then we'll specify the ad unit again and make the request, and our servers handle the rest. They'll return the display or text ad rendered in the right way with the correct width. We've got some great additional controls for you as a monetizer in AdMob. So number one is the child-directed settings. So if you want to make us aware that your app is being used by a young audience, then you can send us some signals, which will mean that we won't return you remarketing or interest-based targeted ads, which fall in line with COPPA's standards. Secondly, and this is really key, as a developer, when you're testing, it's really not best practice to be pulling in live ads, and it could cause you problems later down the line. So you can actually declare that you're running some tests, and then we'll just return to you test ads. And you can actually either run these on an emulator or a real device. And with everything in this presentation, there's full instructions on our developer website. Finally, you can give us some additional controls for how you want text ads to look. So whether it be the background, the border, or the URL colors, that's all down to you as the AdMob monetizer. Finally, I just want to touch on some points about mediation. So this is the ability to pull in other networks in AdMob, and as I said, Daniele will be talking more in detail about these sort of things in the next session to follow. But from a technical standpoint, it's fairly simple to implement, as we've worked hard with many of the major networks to work on this. So first of all, you're going to want to include that third-party networks SDK. Once you've done that, you want to include the adapter, which basically lets our SDK know how to talk to their SDK. Once you've done this, there are a few platform-specific things that you'll want to do. So, for example, in iOS, you'll want to add a couple of linker flags for that. And in Android, you'll want the XML declaration for that SDK. Once you've done that, it's all about front-end implementation. So you'll select which ad network you're using, log in, and enter the platform-specific site ID or ad unit ID. And from then on, you can choose how everything runs from the front end. With that basically brings the end of just the beginning starting point. So I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you in the future.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing, Adam. One question, in terms of interstitials, we know that developers are getting very good results with them, but some question I sometimes get is, it's a big image, so wouldn't it take some time for it to load, and therefore it wouldn't provide a very good user experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we do get that a lot, and that's why we've actually got the two aspects of interstitials. So the first part will actually be to load the ad, but that doesn't actually mean we're going to show it. So you can actually be doing that in the background when the user is perhaps playing a game. So as he starts the game, you could load the ad. So our server's already returned to you the image that it's going to show. And then when you're ready, perhaps he's not finished the game, or he's ended up skipping a level, then that's when you can choose to actually just show that ad to the user. Also, if you're very concerned, you can set the interstitial timeout to quite a small period.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think there will be more questions in terms of interstitials, but maybe we'll leave it to Daniele, as you said, to continue with that part.
Perfect.
Thank you so much
Thanks a
for
lot,
sharing
guys.
your thoughts.